Hey friends, it's Nick with Urban Farm Boys. I wanted to make a video today because I have finished my granny Hexagon cardigan, my very first wearable. I think it's my first. I started it first anyway. And a lot of you guys have been asking to see the finished product. So this is it. I'm going to tell you about it and how I made it and what I learned along the way and what I might do differently next time. Sorry, I can't clip my microphone to me because I'm going to take this off as I show it to you guys. But this is it. This is what we're working with. So it is short sleeve-ish, and I'll explain why. And I left it open. I didn't want to close it up in the front, and I didn't want to have buttons either. I have a lot of, or a few sweaters that are kind of like this style, and I like that style, so I just did it this way. But overall, I'm kind of obsessed, and I think it turned out really good for my very first attempt at a hexagon cardigan. You can see the collar that I made here, which just kind of folds over, and that's how I wanted it to be. And I think the length of it is really good. Here's the back. Overall, I'm super duper happy. If you're like, what the heck is happening with these colors? I wanted to use yarn that I already had, and I liked these colors because I wanted something that was a little bit sort of New Mexico inspired, and I thought these were very kind of New Mexican colors. It's very loud, for sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this or where I will wear it, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to have a seat here, and I'll show you kind of what I did to make it, what I learned along the way, and what I might do differently the next time if you guys are interested in trying something like this. If you guys have seen any of my previous videos that I usually film in this room, and you're like, where's all the plants that are behind you normally? They're all outside on my front porch. 90% of them are outside on my front porch. So if you're curious about how I move my whole houseplant collection outside, check out that video. I just posted it this week. So it's a little bare in here. I'm gonna have to figure out how to fill this space up. But anyway, this is my cardigan. I learned a lot. I really like it. It's very loud. I'll have to find the right sort of occasion to wear it. I will wear it. But I just thought I would tell you briefly kind of how I did it and what I learned along the way. I would like to make another one, and I want to talk to you guys about that at the end because I want your tips. But what I learned about this one is going to carry over to the next one, and I think I can do it even better and maybe even a little bit easier the next time. So I'm going to find and link the video that I used as my basis for this cardigan. It was Passionate Kelsey made a video where she made one of these. And I watched her video. I had been making tons and tons of granny square items, and so this was a pretty easy sort of progression from there. And if you've never heard of a hexagon cardigan before, you start your project by making two hexagon shapes rather than squares. They end up being the armpits of the project. It's a little hard to show you the angle here, but rather than a square, you start with a hexagon. So 6, right? 6 instead of 4, and you go around and around and around and around in the same way you would do for a square. And as they get bigger, when you fold them over, they turn into sort of an L shape, which becomes one half of the project. So as it gets bigger, maybe you can see it that way actually really well. As it gets bigger, you get this L shape, and that turns into half of the body of the cardigan. You make them as big as you want, and then you connect at the arms. You connect them together, and at the back you connect it together, and once your two hexagons are connected, you have the foundations of a cardigan. It's actually pretty straightforward. I started this project a couple months ago. We went on vacation to Portugal and I took it with me and I was working on it at our Airbnbs and in the airports and on the planes. And then when I got home, I had to figure out how to do sort of the finishings. But the foundation is really simple, 2 equal hexagons until they're your size. And then you can finish it in all sorts of different ways. You can add hoods to these. I think Passionate Kelsey has a video about that too. You can sew together the front of it to make it more like a sweater. You can do all sorts of different things. This is what I did, and it ended up, sorry, microphone. It ended up being short sleeve for a very specific reason, which is Passionate Kelsey actually gave one of the best tips I've heard from anyone who I've watched make these on YouTube. As you're starting with your hexagons, if I just fold it in half here, as you're starting your hexagons, they get bigger and bigger, obviously, with each round, right? And that on this end makes it, wider around your torso, but on the arm side, it makes your arms bigger and bigger. Okay, they get wider and wider and wider. And some people like that look, and you can have like really baggy ones, tighten them up at the wrists, all sorts of things. I've seen a lot of girls make these, and they have like really baggy ones. And she gave a tip in her video, which was to stop making additional rounds in your hexagons when the sleeves are as wide as you want them. And I think that's the best tip I can give you guys as well. I started doing that. They got to be, you can kind of see how it expands. They got to be about that wide, and I decided I didn't want them any wider. Let me just see if I can show you guys. This is a little tricky. Yeah, slightly tricky here. But, oh, there we go. I stopped when I got to this white round. I didn't go any bigger. And then what I kind of determined once I said I don't want to have super baggy sleeves is I had to learn, how do I make it longer and how do I make the sleeves longer without doing more rounds on this hexagon shape. And that was pretty easy as well. So I ended up stopping my hexagons. I connected them at the back here. And then I wanted to make it longer. So you can see, whoa, that's a little trippy. Where that white stripe down the middle stops is where the hexagons stopped, but I wanted it to be longer. I wanted the inside here to be a little bit longer as well. It wasn't quite fitting around my torso properly. And then I was gonna make the sleeves longer as well too. And basically all you do is rows of granny clusters wherever you need to go. So where these inner portions were and around the bottom, I just started additional rows. I kept going along. I already had, they had the finishings of a regular granny square. So I just continued with my same alternating colors. I think I started up here at the top and I went down and I went all the way around, and then I came back up the other side, switched colors, and went down again. And I did that until it was the right size around my torso. I don't think I did too many additional rounds in that way. And then I wanted it to be longer at the bottom, so once it fit around me, I just kept going around the bottom too. And you can see how that looks, where I transitioned from my square or hexagon to just adding several straight rows around the bottom to make it longer. And that was super easy. At the end here, I had this teal blue final row of granny clusters, and I think I just did half double crochets on top of it to finish it off. I believe I did half double crochets because I like how that looks. And I went all the way around the bottom, and I came back up, and I went around the neckline all the way around, just to give it kind of a finished look. Easy. When I was done with all of that, it was time to do the sleeves. And what I had already determined was the sleeves were wider already than I wanted them to be. It was the end of the project. I didn't want to, I would have to do like 1.5 feet more of sleeve on each side. And I kind of didn't want to, because I didn't want to end up with this baggy long sleeve garment. And I sort of looked at it and determined, like, okay, I've figured this out. I've done it. I've figured out all the components. And I feel like I've learned everything there is to learn from this. I don't want to spend all the time doing long sleeves that I'm not going to like. So I just finished it off, again, with a half double crochet at the end. I think I started a couple rows here, maybe 2 rows, because I wanted it to end in blue to match everything else. And I just finished it off to make it short sleeve. So if I put it on again, you'll have to excuse, now I do have the microphone on. You can see it's short sleeve-esque, comes past my elbow. But it's baggier here than maybe I would choose the next time. And I didn't want to keep going and just have these super baggy sleeves. So I said, okay, I've learned, I've done it. We're going to finish it off. And to be fair, I kind of really like how it looks, even though it's very loud. Overall, I have to say I'm super happy with it. Anyone who's made something you can wear, it feels like a huge accomplishment to turn skeins of yarn into something you can wear that looks like a garment. So really, really happy with it. I will wear this. I just have to figure out where. But I feel like this is going to get a lot of attention and maybe start some fun conversations. What will I do differently next time? So there's 2 things. One obvious thing, which then sparked a couple of additional ideas. The first thing I'm going to do for the next one that I'm going to make is I'm going to stop with my hexagons even sooner so that the sleeves aren't as wide. And I might not even go very far. Like, I'm looking at, the outline of this initial hexagon. And the next time I might even stop like about here, which I can count is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds. Because I think that might give me a much, and it depends on the size yarn you're used to, but that might give me a much slimmer sleeve. So I think that's what I would do. And then if I want to make it long sleeved, I'll just continue down from there once I've done the sleeves much slimmer for me. That is my main takeaway, is next time, thinner sleeves. I've learned, I thought it would be hard to do rounds to make everything longer. It's not at all. So that's what I'll do the next time. The other thing I thought I might do is, rather than making something like this, I might seal it up in the front too, like I did in the back, and just make almost like a crocheted t-shirt. You know what I mean? If the sleeves were a little shorter and I sealed it up in the front, it's kind of a cute t-shirt. Even, I don't know if I could do a collar with a t-shirt, but something like that. You know what I mean? And then I thought, I've practiced changing colors every round and it was fun and it is very loud, but I immediately thought, let me do a solid color. My original idea, which I've already talked to you guys about, I think in one of my crochet and chill episodes, was I have a lot of this. I actually bought this for this specific project, is this Lion brand Respun Thick and Quick recycled yarn, which I love. I bought several skeins of this black color, I think it's called Raven, and I immediately thought, why don't I do, like, it's almost like a grayish black, it's not super dark, it kind of looks like an Oreo cookie to me. But I thought, how about if I made an all black long sleeve cardigan, implementing all the things that I've...
After the black color begins to form, you can adjust the tone to be warmer by adding more red and yellow, or
hey you,
by adding more blue.
Google, stop talking. Rude. Anyway, I want to do a long sleeve black one. This is pretty thick yarn. It's pretty warm. We're also just now getting into summer, so I won't be wearing it anytime soon, but I can definitely make it. And then I got another idea. I'm also in the process of making a granny square tutorial, how to make a granny square, which is almost done. So keep an eye out for that if you want to learn how to do all of this. But in my tutorial video, I was just using this off-white yarn, which I use for the borders on all my other granny square projects. And I was just doing this solid granny square. And I thought, what if I made like a t-shirt version of this in all white? Then you could put actually like a black tank top or something under it, or not, depending on where you live and what the vibe is there. And have like a short sleeved, solid color t-shirt. And I think that could be really cool too. And kind of a quick project to work up. So I think I'm gonna do both of those things. I think they'll look cool. I don't think I would do a collar on the t-shirt-ish version, like sew up the front. Or maybe I could have it open on a short sleeved thing like this one too. Who knows? But anyway, those are my two future ideas. So what do you guys think of those ideas? Comment below. I am not sure which one I'm gonna start first. Finally, I just wanted to get your thoughts because I am going on a little trip next week. I'm going to Florida. I have just a week off between my semesters in school. I'm in nurse practitioner school. And I want some sunshine, so I'm going to Florida. Unfortunately, Andrew has to work, so it's going to be a solo trip. And I'm just going to lay in the sun and chill and crochet and be a geek and read my book. And I have been kind of addicted this year to the game Stardew Valley, if anyone is a gamer out there. But I haven't looked at my little farm on Stardew Valley since I started crocheting back in November. So I might revisit my farm there, but that's my plan. But I want to take a little crochet project down there that I can work on the beach or by the pool or whatever the heck I want to do. And I'm not sure what I should do. I don't know that I want to carry this heavy yarn and have it like laying on me on the beach. So maybe I should start the smaller one, the lighter one, or a different project, but that's what I wanted to ask you guys. What would you work on if you were in 85, 90 degrees outside and still wanted to crochet? Something fairly easy. It doesn't have to be granny squares, but I don't want to take a giant blanket that's going to have to be all over me either, but something fun. So if you guys have any tips, comment below. And that's it for now. I have sort of hinted at this project for over a month now, so I just wanted to show you the finished product. If you guys liked it, please give the video a like, and if you're interested, make sure you subscribe because I've made 2 other wearables. I've made granny square tank tops. You've seen some previews of them as well, and I'm going to show you guys those in a very near future video. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see that. And that's about it for tonight. So I hope everyone has had a great week. It's almost the weekend. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you're welcome to, at Nikas Arbata. I'll put the link below. You can also follow Urban Farm Boys on Instagram. And I think that's about it. So I appreciate you guys. I hope everyone is doing great. And until next time, take care, guys.